expected of them. Good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us. It's another beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to your viewpoint. I am Rotimi Akintoday. This program is sponsored by Integrated Communication Services. It is designed to encourage moral values in our society and see how we can prefer solutions, possible solutions to what is happening in our environment. Today we're talking about personal security awareness. Of course, it is important that we talk about this issue regardless of what we do, our occupation, our location. Everybody should be concerned about personal security. And of course, we will get to learn one or two things we need to do to keep ourselves safe from harm, keep ourselves, our family members, and properties safe from harm or danger. I won't be doing this alone. I have guests in the studio to do justice and of course prefer solutions to the issues we will be talking about today. I have a security consultant and ex-military officer, a member international security organization in Switzerland. A member of an international organization, international security organization in Switzerland. That's Olale Sunday. It's good to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. All right, I also have a certified protection officer, also called CPO. He's also a health, safety, security, and environment professional and consultant, Mr. Gabriel Nwakwasi.
Thank you very much. All
right, thank you for joining us. So, straight to business. Today we are talking about personal security awareness. And first, it is a need for us to look at the relevance. As much as we want to believe, a lot of persons believe that the government is saddled with the responsibility of providing or protecting lives and property. So the first thing that comes to mind is that, when we talk about security, then we look up to the government. So in this regard, when we talk about personal security awareness, I will start with you. What is your take? How relevant do you think it is to us as a people, especially at this time that we are, in Nigeria, so to speak?
Well, for you to be secured as a person, that means you want to continue existing, because there are different types of threats, that, when those threats are on people, such that the environment, the threat in the environment, which, can bring about a lot of problems. So as a person who wants to continue living, I think your personal security, your security is very important. It's not something you toy with. It's not something you wait for government to do for you, because government has they have their own responsibility when it comes to security, and you as a person, as a citizen, you also have your own part to play in your own security and safety. Government will not rent your house for you, for sure, and government will not be the one to put padlock.
Yes.
Government will not put police on in every house.
Okay.
That will not be possible.
As much as we have patrol teams, moving here and there and all of that, it does not necessarily mean that government will be able to do everything.
Exactly.
Let's look at people who have relied heavily on security forces, so to speak, or security agents, police, soldiers and all of that, even neighborhood officers. We have neighborhood watch now and all of that for security. They have a duty. You've said that before. They have a duty. What are those duties? How can they keep themselves secure? Before, you have the police, getting into the situation and all of that.
Yeah, thank you. One thing I do say is that security is every man's business. In the sense that in your own, you make sure you put all things in place starting from the gate, your door, burglary, CCTV, and others. And also, before you depend on the police, military, or paramilitary.
Okay.
Eventually, when something happens, self-confidence. Maybe in the midnight, whereby there's no any police to call,
Okay. Or you don't even have credit to call.
or you don't even have credit to call. Now, what will you do? That's why I advise so many people. Now, in this country now, everybody needs to be secured.
They have to be security conscious.
Conscious in everywhere. Now, get anything like sharp objects in your home.
Okay.
Like I used to defend yourself and your family.
Okay,
Because-
but you know, most of the time, the government doesn't want you to, have some of these things. I mean, the law enforcers.
Yeah.
You're moving on the road and all of that. But at home, as
Yes.
a professional, you're suggesting
Yes.
you should have some sort of things you can use to defend
Yes.
yourself.
Everybody should get prepared with his own first before the security man comes in. Because anything can happen, it may take more than hours before you see the security man. So how do you protect yourself and your family? As a father in the home and the mother, you are the first security, you are the first chief security officer. And how do you protect your children?
Would you also want to look at the position of the law when it comes to self-defense? Because you would also want to consider that. I know Gabriel might have something to say about that. The position of the law when it comes to self-defense at home, when there's a security challenge.
Yeah.
How would you react to
Okay. First of all, whenever I'm talking about security, there are certain things, the most important things you have to consider, when it comes to security. Your location, your house. You need to be very careful when choosing where to live. Because most of the security challenge that we're having, or challenges we have, they as a result of the place where we're staying. For example, you don't expect someone staying in Ikoyi to have the same security challenge as someone who is staying in Ajegunle. You understand? So in one of the training facilitation I was doing, I was trying to explain, certain things about locations, to the audience. I told them that, okay, if you have an electronics shop, you have it in Ajegunle, what is the probability that that shop will be robbed, when you don't have a security person guarding the place? The probability is high. You understand? It's almost certain. Electronics, people like electronics. And if you check out most of those periods that will have riots, electronic shops are always being attacked and people steal. So now compare when you have the same electronic shop in an army barracks, in the military barracks. Even without having security there,
Yes.
the environment already has made it secure.
Yes.
Because everybody in the military barracks, everybody is security, so they're seeing you. Even the goats and the dogs there can see you. So when you're trying to do something and you feel nobody see, they've seen you. And it can be very funny in the military setting. If you enter military barracks, when you start going to places you're not supposed to go to, you think nobody's seeing you. Before you know, you just see somebody who just call you. You understand? It's like that. So environment matters a lot when it comes to security. Environment.
Let's look at self-confidence. The other time, you were talking about self-defense, or how to protect you. Let's put it as how to protect yourself before the agents, come in and all of that. You mentioned the role of confidence. To what extent will that be helpful when it comes to defending yourself?
Yes, you see, one thing, confidence.
Okay.
Get me right?
Okay.
When you are confident
Okay.
in terms of breaking, get me right?
Okay.
and you have any self-defense, maybe like sharp objects,
Okay.
cutlass,
Okay.
get me right, to
Okay.
defend yourself.
Okay.
Without courage, it helps. It helps.
You know, most of the time, police men or the agency, what they ask you to do is to call.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Rotimi,
Okay.
you see, the country is beyond that now. You just die like chicken when waiting for policemen.
Mm.
Yes. That's why I give kudos to some governors today
Okay.
who are advising their citizens. Secure yourself. Don't wait for policemen or wait for any government agents. You get me right?
Okay.
You just die like fowl. Even God will even blame you. Yes. So that's why you need to defend yourself and your family first.
All right, let's quickly look at different threats. Let's look at it in different ways. We know of hostage. Okay, you want to say
Yeah,
something
I want to say
about
something.
self-confidence?
Yes, self-confidence is one of the most important. Even if you don't have self-confidence, even if you have a gun,
Mm.
you don't even know how to use it.
Yeah.
You might just shoot yourself.
Shoot
Yes.
the wrong person or shoot yourself.
Okay.
But in security we have the use of force.
Mm.
The level of force you're supposed to use. But then I understand what he's trying to say. When an assailant is coming, you don't know the kind of force he's coming with. Or you are certain that this person is coming with a deadly force. He's armed.
Yes, or more armed than
More,
you.
Where some
armed.
come with evil toy.
And
That's another challenge.
The man is the assailant is armed. When the assailant is armed, and you're privileged to know that this guy is carrying a gun, and this guy will stop at nothing to get into my house. And I think in that area, I agree with him. You need to protect yourself, especially when the police, they're not forthcoming. Maybe they are still far away. You need to look for means to stop them. But that was why I was saying something initially, that choosing your environment. When you choose an environment where you're going to live, you need to know the history of that environment. So you know the kind of measures you put in place. So that you know the how many burglary proof you're going to have.
But you go to some places, especially in Lagos, the first time you go to that place, you might not be able to ascertain if that place is dangerous. There are some places that are cool. It's not even about the kind of people you see there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how would you get to know
that's
that?
Why I say history.
History, okay.
Of the place.
Who provides that?
Good. You need to ask questions, because
Who do you ask? Who gives you that true information?
Good.
Who gives you that? Most of the time, I want to believe you want to talk about what do you call it? These people, the estate agents, so to speak.
Not necessarily
Or do your investigation.
Not necessarily the estate agents.
Okay.
You need to do your investigation. You need to ask questions, and that is why you have to have network. Networking is very important nowadays. It's one of the things that aids security. I could remember on a particular day I was about going to Bega, and I just got information through via WhatsApp that there's a problem around that area, that someone killed a cow and there was a clash between the Fulanis and
Okay.
and then I had to cancel every other thing around that area, because there was serious traffic at the point, there was roadblock. And so when you network with people, you get information, and information is key. Information is the most important aspect of security. Information, because when you have information, you are ahead of the situation. Information matters a lot. For example, if you are able to detect that armed robbers are coming, for God's sake, if you have opportunity to escape, you escape first. So that when they come, they meet an empty house.
Exactly.
You take your valuables. But if you don't get information on time, they'll meet you there. But when they meet you there, it now boils down to what you have on ground.
Yes.
Your burglary proof, is it such that when they pull it, it will fall off? Do you have burglary proof around your windows, your doors? You know, in security we have the 5Ds.
Okay, let's stop at that 5Ds. We'll just pause and we'll go on this break. So after the break, we'll get to talk about the 5Ds you just mentioned. We'll be back after this break. Please go nowhere.
Did you know that self-discipline is the ability to control yourself to make yourself work hard or behave in a particular way without needing anyone else to tell you what to do? It's about self-control, self-regulation, willpower, resolve, determination, and drive. It's how you get yourself to do what needs to be done to move forward and excel in life. According to Jim Rohn, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The importance of self-discipline cannot be overemphasized, as studies show that those with higher levels of self-control have higher self-esteem, less craving of eating and alcohol abuse, better relationships and interpersonal skills, and more optimal emotional responses. Others show that those with self-discipline are more content, satisfied, and happy. Here are some of the strategies to build and maintain self-discipline. Get motivated. Let's say your dream job just opened up at work. Getting to work early, staying late, and keeping on task doesn't seem so difficult anymore, does it? Motivation comes from the root word motive. It's why you are doing something, the reason and underlying drive behind it. Finding what motivates you fuels the fire, and you are much likely to stay focused. Remove temptation. Your environment can be stronger than your willpower. Ensure it is conducive to the goals you are trying to accomplish. Don't put yourself in situations that are tempting or distracting. Create a goal, challenge, or deadline. In order to achieve this, create a compelling goal, challenge, and deadline for yourself to meet. Ensure you follow strictly. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Change is hard, and our brains are wired to return to what feels comfortable and predictable. Therefore, big changes can be really hard. But if you start slow, you can build momentum without getting overwhelmed. Our subconscious is automated. We only have 5% of our conscious mind to fight the subconscious habits we have built over months, years, and in some cases, a lifetime. In order to combat that subconscious, we must create new habits.
All right, thank you so much for being there. We are still on Your Viewpoint, and we're talking personal security awareness. I have security consultants in the house, Olale Sunday and Gabriel Nwakwasi. Now, the other time, we're talking about the 5Ds. He mentioned the 5Ds. So let's hear it.
Okay, one of them is deter. You need to deter.
Deter.
To deter. The other one is detect. One is delay.
Okay.
The other one is deny. And the final one is defend.
Okay.
So, deterrence, to deter criminal activities, is a form of security. For example, if you have in your house where you live, if the fence is so high that any criminal that wants to come will have to climb, number one, that one would have deterred them somehow. Or if you have security or armed people, that's deterrence.
Okay.
Then the other one is detect. Do you have means of detecting them when they come around? And that could be done through CCTV cameras, highly trained security personnel. Because security personnel are well trained. For the ones that are well trained, yes, they can detect. By the time they see you 2 or 3 times, they know what your mission is. So then the other one is I've talked about deter.
Yes, you talked about
detect,
deter. Yes,
then,
detect, delay.
Delay
Okay.
or deny.
Okay.
Yeah, deny.
Okay.
Deny is before delay. So when you've detected them, something has to deny them access. So if you have what will deny them access, probably you have locks in your house and all those things, burglary proof, fine. Then the other one is delay. What will make it difficult for them, even if they break through the first defense line,
Yes.
they'll meet another one. So
Another
that one
one.
will delay them before the security
And it
forces.
could discourage them as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It could
because
discourage them.
yes.
Then the last one is defend. So defending could be you defending with your firearms if you're licensed to carry arms, or your security personnel, defending. So those are the things. But that one is, if you look at it, it has levels. When you're talking about all these 5Ds now,
Okay.
it has different levels for different people, different stages of people. For organizations, you can have it just the way we've relayed them.
Arranged it, yes.
But for an average,
Less privileged, average ones.
Yes.
you have your own way of doing it too. You understand? So,
Yeah.
if you look at the first one.
The first one, which is deter.
deter.
Yeah, yes.
If you have high fence with
Now,
barbed wire.
yes, let's quickly talk about that high fence. As an ex-military person, look at some houses do not have. They try to in some parts of the world, they don't build fences that are not transparent, so to speak, so that you can see through.
See through, yeah.
What do you have to say to that? Do you think that helps in any way to see what happens in that house? Say
You
if
see,
something
just as
comes
Mr. Gabriel just said, in terms of that, people that lives in like Ikwe, all these places,
Okay.
because they have internal security.
security.
But those living in Ajegule, Ikorodu, all these places like that, to get me right, you need to build your fence.
No, you have to be careful
Yeah,
because we
yes.
have rich people there too.
Yes, we have rich people there,
Yes.
and they have the money to
Okay.
secure themselves. But what
Okay.
about those who don't have that money?
What about those who do not have, a
Yes,
fence?
fence. Those who don't have fence. That's why their gate, their door, and their burglary proof
Okay,
should be very well secure.
should be very strong. Okay,
Yes.
we should also look at the quality of buildings nowadays. The quality of buildings. You get to some places. In fact, if you are a very strong person, if you punch some blocks like that, it will scatter.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
Well, you see,
Is it part of those things you should note when you're getting a new apartment?
exactly, yes.
Part of those things.
If
to be secured.
if we're to look at it, if safety professionals are here, they'll say yes, this is our own field. Because if you're going to build a house, it has to be strong, has to be able to carry the weight so that the house will not collapse, because it's a safety issue, mainly safety issue.
Okay.
But it's also part of security, because safety and security. They're interchanged.
And we've seen situations whereby people will just come, remove the burglary.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
And you wonder, what's the essence?
So those are part of the things you need to put into consideration. You need to check all those things. The walls. The walls such that once someone hits with a strong wood, the walls
Yes.
will collapse.
Will collapse.
You need to check those things, really. Because if you don't, it's at your own peril. That's a problem. Because you don't know who will want to take advantage
Of that.
So it's very necessary.
Okay.
Then also there's one other area I've been trying to advise people, because apart from being a security, health and safety person,
Okay.
I'm also a project management professional.
Okay.
So I put everything together. If you're going to build a house, a structure, you need to put security and safety into, you know, you have to put them into consideration. You know, most of the houses we see nowadays, most of those houses don't have emergency exits. You know, and it's good to have back doors. You know, that's what we call it those days, back door, after escape through back door, you know, that kind of a thing. So when you have that kind of, you know, sited in a proper place where nobody will know when you are exiting, it's very good. It's also for your own safety, you know, such that it will be hidden. So, and that could be done if you are living in your own house, or probably you are involved in the renovation of the place you are moving into.
Okay.
You know, you talk to the landlord, but most landlords will not agree.
No, absolutely.
You know, because they want that's their house. They don't want problem. They don't want additional stuff. So it's really important to check those things. When you don't just move into an apartment because, oh yes, I'm looking for a house. I've gotten a house. Just move in. No, you have to check.
Or cheaper one.
You know, check a lot of
because it's
things.
cheaper.
Check your environment. Know about your environment. Just like I said, the history. You need
That's
to know
right.
the history about that of that place.
You know, some people try to investigate, ask people around, people who have been living
Yes.
in that environment.
Yes,
for
you
some
see, in terms of this, you need to ask questions. Meet people. You don't know them, but maybe ask them the culture of that land, of that place. You get more information. So security is information. When you get information, you know how to plan your living in that place.
Like when they say you gather intelligence,
Yeah.
you know, and you'll be surprised at what you would hear.
Yes.
Exactly. You know, it's very funny in this, in this part of the world, or even no. I won't say in this part of the world, but it's very funny. You know, sometimes when we hear intelligence, what comes to our mind is military.
Exactly.
gadgets, you know.
Yes.
So, but intelligence, they come in different forms, different
forms.
ways. If you go before before we started having organized or formal military setting, people were gathering intelligence in the olden days. Now, people, you know, some of the bad guys or the rulers, the
Yes.
kings, something will happen in the village, or when strangers arrive at a particular place, the king is
Yes.
already
Somebody
aware.
tells the king or
You know,
people in
So
charge.
people, that's networking. People are connected, they pass information, they value information, they know the importance of information. So as a result of that, they have people who will always report things. You understand? So once they get such information, they know what to do. You know, they start fortifying. You know, when you see strangers in a place, if you are an indigene, you stayed in a place for long. When you see strangers, you know.
No.
You know,
will
yes. Yes.
You will know when you see strangers.
In fact, naturally, when you get to a new place, a
Yeah.
new street, people around that have been monitoring,
Yeah.
you know, people who stay around, okay, it looks like this person doesn't come here.
Yeah.
And that takes me to personal security at home.
Yeah.
Now, if you get to a new place, especially places where they have power issue, because that's another thing. Maybe because we are still going to talk about pedestrians if time permits us. But then let's quickly look at surroundings, people who loiter. What's your take as somebody who has been in that line before? What do you think can be done? Maybe in front of your gate, people you don't know, they just sit, you know, they just stand there aimlessly and all of that. In fact, in some places you see people that will stand in a place watching, doing nothing for more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. What is your take? How should that be handled?
Yes, you see, that's why you need to be conscious in anything you do. Your surrounding, and on no strangers, you shouldn't see within your gates standing, maybe 2 or 3 of them, just like that. Go there, comfort them. What are you doing here? What's the mission here?
You don't think that's dangerous?
No, it's not dangerous.
Okay.
No.
But if you have to confront them,
Yes.
you confront them daylight.
Yeah, daylight.
Yes.
Daylight. Yes. And also, you see, if at night, that's why if there's no lights,
Okay.
you get me right? One, be prepared for anything. ready for anything, then make calls. That's why you are supposed to have good relationship with the neighborhood vigilantes. Get their numbers. Get me right?
Yeah.
Get their numbers. They'll be of help too. Get their numbers. Then also, you can now call the policemen before the police or any other federal security agency comes to that place.
Yes.
The vigilantes there must have come to that area.
But there's a problem of trust nowadays. You know, people coming from work. Although in some places, these vigilantes are trying. They are trying their best. Then that takes us to the role of CDAs.
CDA.
Yeah, CDAs, Landlord Association, and all of that. What is your take as a CPO? What do you think these people are doing enough? Do they synergize enough to secure their environment?
Okay. You mean the landlord
Yes,
resident
yes, CDAs,
association?
vigilantes,
Well, you
and all of
see,
that.
like in my area where I stay, we have a resident association.
Do you want to tell us for security purpose?
No, I'm not going to say the
Okay,
area, but
all right.
I'll just say,
Okay.
what happens there.
Okay.
We pay dues,
Okay,
and we get security people.
okay,
So as a professional, I give them an extra advice, which is getting involved with PCRC,
okay.
Police Community Relations.
Relations,
Committee.
yes.
So that you partner with the police in keeping your environment safe. Yes, when you have security guards who are working, who open the gates, who lock the gates, and who patrol, those ones are not armed. And nowadays we don't have armed guards or armed. So you need to give them a support, a boost by getting the police involved. So that they will synergize. So in that area, I give them that advice, and they took it anyway. So in our neighborhood, we pay dues.
Okay.
It's yearly dues. So from there, we pay the security guards. We do some other things, like if the main gate is damaged or breached,
Okay.
we fix it. So then we also share information, and once in a while we'll have awareness program where we'll talk. One of the issues we discussed was what we just finished discussing, when you said when you see people hanging around,
Yes.
what do you do? Now, don't say because it's not in front of my gate. If you are living in the other compound and you see
Exactly.
you see someone that you don't know, and is suspicious. You see that person standing in front of your neighbor's gate. You have to hello, yes, can I help you? What can I do for you?
Interestingly, some would respond by saying, "Look, I'm not standing in front of your house."
No, but we've made it. We've made
Yes.
it. By the time other neighbors hear that someone is
that.
arguing with you,
Exactly.
before you know, people will come out.
And that's how it should be. Anyway.
Exactly. That is the way it should be. So by that doing, you scare them. And there's one other thing I were taught in security, profiling. When you profile people, there's a way a security man will look at you. Without him asking you anything, you start feeling uncomfortable. You start even saying, if you are not bold, you start saying, you understand?
What you were not asked. Yes.
It's a skill. We're trained. We look at someone, there's a way you look at the person. As if you are seeing what's inside that person's mind. If it's someone who is not strong enough, who is not bold enough, the person will take a walk. You understand? And we'll have two types of criminals. We'll have professional and amateur.
We'll get to talk about that. We need to go on this break. We've been talking about personal security awareness, what you need to know, what you need to do to secure yourself, your family, your properties, whatever it is you have from harm and danger. I've been speaking with Olale Sunday and Gabriel Nwakwasi, both of them. They are security professionals, and we've been talking about those things you need to take very seriously. Don't say it doesn't concern you. If you see somebody loitering, standing somewhere on the street, doing nothing and all of that, at a very dangerous hour, so to speak. Sometimes you see some people would just park a car somewhere, and they'll just be there. They are not part of the street, so to speak. And you wonder, what are they doing here? And everybody's just walking like nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And before you know what is happening, at night, they strike. All right, we get to talk more about this, but we need to go on this break. Let's see what we have in the world of sport. Right up to that, we would get to hear what people have to say on the street of Lagos. We told them about this topic, and they had one or two things to say. After that, we'll be back to talk more. Please go nowhere.
Life is indeed what to make of it. It goes to say that how you lay your bed is how you would lie on it. Today we are going to be telling the success story of a champion who has over the years dedicated time, energy and willingness to get to the top while also facing challenges. Today's spotlight is centered on a 25-year-old sprint hurdler, Oluwatobi Amusho, born in 1997. Amusho hails from Ogun State, Ijebu-Ode, and she's a graduate of the University of Texas. As a 15-year-old, Tobi Amusho caught the attention of people in her community in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State in southwest Nigeria after she beat the competition to claim the top spot in a 100-meter sprint at an inter-house sports competition. However, her first move for athletics started at Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, where she contested for the AFN Golden League meeting for April 2012. In 2013 and 16, she represented Nigeria at the African Youth Championships in Warri, where she got a silver medal in the 200-meter race. After being replaced as a member of Nigeria's 4x 100-meter relay squad at the trials for the 2014 African Youth Games, Amusho entered the 100-meter hurdles, going on to win silver at the African Youth Games in Botswana. Then followed a trip to Ethiopia in 2015, where she won gold at the African Youth 20 Championships, followed by a breakthrough victory at the All-African Games in Brazzaville, Congo. Amusho's road to greatness started with erasing Glory Aliose's 12.74 seconds African Games record set in Johannesburg, South Africa in 1999. She broke the Games record twice in 2019 in Rabat, Morocco. She ran 12.69 seconds to win her semi-final heat before running 100 of a second faster in the final to win the gold at the African Games. Amusho smashed that in 2021 in Tokyo with her 12.60 seconds performance, which fetched her a 4th place finish in the event. In a now viral post from November 2016, she wrote, "Unknown now, but soon I will be unforgettable. I will persist until I succeed." With her most recent victory recorded on Sunday, 24 July 2022, Oluwatobi Amusho broke the 100-meter hurdles world record with a stunning semi-final time of 12.12 seconds before clinching the gold medal at the World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon, US, with a smashing record of 12.06 seconds. She won $100,000 for the world record. Tobi Amusho is currently the number 2 for women's 100-meter hurdles world ranking. However, for women's overall athletics ranking, she is number 21 according to the International Association of Athletics Federation. Over her career, she has competed in hurdles, 100, 200, 300 and 400 meter races, as well as relay and long jump competitions.
Everybody is conscious. I'm working right now, I'm checking my phone every now and then to see if I've not been picked. People travel now because people now use alternative means of transportation. So initially we were told, when we were growing up, we were told rail transport is the safest. It's no longer the safest. People prefer air transport now, and of course even the air is not 100% safe anymore, because of course you know that when there are two people, there's too much influx in the airspace. You get what you get now. So by and large, the truth is people are being security conscious because we now know that nowhere is safe. All right, so it's everywhere. I don't want to sound too extreme, but it's important for everybody to take security awareness seriously, be watchful of your environment, check on your neighbors, be sure that at least in our own space your doors are locked, you don't do late nights. If you have to do Uber, you check if the person that is picking you, the details correspond with what you have on your app. And of course, if you are going anywhere, let your family members know, let your loved ones know. So these are part of the things that we as individuals should take responsibility of.
Well, I think they are trying. To some extent, I think they are trying. Well, I can't say for any other person, but for myself, I know if there is any strange movement or any strange face in my area, I alert the necessary bodies I'm supposed to alert, which are probably the CDAs or the other landlords. Well, just like I said, we can enhance our own personal and individual security by staying alert. Well, in terms of that, I think I do not know how best to improve that, because most people go out and come back late. So that is not dependent on individual. You understand what I'm saying? That is the work of the government. If the roads are free enough, no traffic, no gridlocks and all, people will get home early. Don't crawl at night, don't stay out late. If you do not have anything to do out late, go to your house and relax. Whatever you want to do, you can do it at home.
It's good to be security conscious. It's very, very important. Yeah, I think government has a very big role to play in that aspect. I believe that it's all about the government. The government should make sure they put the security in place. It is the duty of the government to protect the citizen. Do you understand? So that is what I see there. Yeah, because even though you say, okay, I want to be security conscious, you don't know where it's going to happen. You understand? So to me, I believe it is the priority of the government to make sure that the area of security, something must be done.
I could say that many people are not security conscious. They are not at all. You see people that will leave their home very early, leave their homes very early. You see those who will be going back home very late, and we have issues of miscreants, moving here and there, robbing people. Everybody has to be up and doing as far as security is concerned. Number one, personal security, property security, and environmental security also.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being there. We're still talking personal security awareness, and if you like, you can call it security consciousness, the need for you to be conscious about your environment. Now, the other time we talked about, I mentioned the fact that we need to look at personal security at home. So we're going to look at other things that are quite related to that. Take, for instance, the way we train our children. Do we train them to be security conscious? What is your take about that? How should children be trained, even if fathers and mothers? What if they are not there, if something happens?
Well, as a security professional, I took it upon myself, to train my children, to teach them about security. One of the things I taught them is don't speak so loud. Don't allow the neighbors to hear what we're discussing at home. That's one. Then also, when I'm not at home, you don't open the door for anybody, even if it's my brother. Don't open the doors for my brother. If my brother is coming to my house, he will call me. And if he doesn't call me, and I don't inform you that my brother is coming, don't open. So actually, there was a day I went out.
And your brother won't be angry about that.
No. They know. They know. Then my children, my children started staying at home, staying on their own very early because our house help left us. We used to have a house help who left. Okay. And in fact, we pleaded, and she said she was leaving. Little did we know that she got pregnant, so she didn't want us to know. Wow. So then we didn't have anybody, so we had to, improvise, make do with what we had. So I started talking to the children about security. So on one occasion, my elder brother came around, and he said they were talking to him from balcony. He said, "Uncle, we're sorry we can't open the door for you. Daddy's not around." And when my brother told me, I was just laughing. I said, "Yes, that's the way I trained them, and unless you call me." Because that day he said, no offense, that he was actually passing through my area. He
decided to just say hi.
So then I've also taught them, we have codes.
Okay.
And from time to time we change those codes too when I say something, because I've also told them that, what if your daddy is at gunpoint and is asked to call? So there's a kind of code I will give you. There is problem, you won't open the door. So they know these are things that I have taught them.
Okay.
So, and I will keep improving on it, and also keep telling them, giving them that orientation, because it's not something you stop. Now I have teenagers in the house, and teenagers sometimes they don't like all this. Talking to them all the time. They want
all the principles and all
they
that.
feel that we've grown, we're growing.
Yes.
Daddy is always saying the same thing as if we don't know. But you have to keep, it's an orientation.
Okay. What's your addition to that?
Yes,
in terms of training children.
You see, my brother Gabriel has already finalized everything.
Okay.
Is orientation. Make them understand safety and the security aspect of it. The bad and the good of it. You get me right? And in terms of maybe they're on their way, maybe going to school or going to anywhere,
yes,
they should be security conscious of the kind of person they mingle with.
I was going to talk about friends and all of that.
Bad friends at school, and other aspect like that. Get me right? You see, strangers, that they never know. They should be careful with those strangers.
Now, but how do you think they can handle that? Because most of the time you tell them, and some children can pretend. You tell them at home that, okay, this is what I want you to do. Don't move with this, don't move with that. But when they get to school, they still mingle. The only thing is that they don't bring them home. But how can that affect? Can that affect in any way? And they move with them. If those children are allowed to, move around, we have, children that are allowed to move with friends and all of that. What can be done?
Okay. Okay.
Yes, you see, that's why we need to impart that knowledge on them time to time. We won't keep quiet. Impart the knowledge on them, on that security conscience.
Okay. All right. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. My son, my second son, I have all boys.
Okay.
So my second son is the hip hop person in the house. So on one occasion he was saying something that they were calling him old school. So I told him that yes, old school. You have to be proud of it. Your dad is old school. I'm old school, and that's the way I was brought up. Doesn't mean I don't know anything. I know a lot of things, but I decided to be old school because old school is the best. So most of the time I let them know that we have values. We have values in the house. Just like he said, orientation.
Yes.
You need to have core values at home. And one of the things I tell my children, any friend that cannot add value to you, cut off from that friend. Now, any friend that does not appreciate you the way you appreciate them, cut off from them. Then any friend that does something contrary to what you've been taught, the good principles that you've been taught at home, cut off from such friend. And each time I visit in school, I meet with their friends. Like during open days.
Open day, yes.
I'd like to meet your friend. They will come. Okay.
Yes, and events.
Why is he your friend?
Yes.
You would tell me about your friend. You talk, Okay, some of them I ask them to tell me about my son. Why is he your friend? Why did you choose him to be your friend? Is he a good boy? Is he a bad boy? So tell me. So I get to hear, all those things and work on them. So the main thing is orientation. Orientation is a very important aspect that we've forgotten, in life, even in everything. When people have the right orientation, they'll go a long way. But when people don't have the right orientation, they push it aside and do things business as usual the way they like. For example, a security man. Okay, let's look at soldiers.
Okay.
Soldiers, the kind of orientation soldiers have is different from the orientation that police and some other people have. The soldier might not be earning so much money, but the orientation he has been given, you don't see them, probably if they are collecting bribe or whatever, maybe it's new. Before, a soldier man would do sacrifice because of their orientation, because of the way they were trained. You understand? They do a lot of things,
Some they still do that.
Exactly.
They still do that.
It's not about money. You understand?
Yes.
So
I think it's about the values.
the values,
Yes.
and the orientation
The values,
they've been given.
yes.
So they know this is who I am.
Yes.
I'm supposed to save the day.
Yes.
So when they don't get distracted, they know they're focused.
Yes.
Because
now,
of the orientation.
now there's something I want us to talk about. That's domestic. Domestic workers. How people get them most of the time. Somebody to help. You train your children and all of that. You've done every other thing you need to do as per security. What's the best way to get secured when you are having domestic workers around you? Or you want to talk about the best way to employ them so that you can be secured?
Okay. Being a member of PCRC, I have a relationship with police. We have good relationship with police, PCRC members.
Okay.
So there was a time we had a meeting, a gathering. So that was actually the topic, the main topic. When you're going to what you do when you want to get domestic workers.
Okay.
You have to do a background check with the police. Take them to police. Police going to do a background check, going to register them, and they probably have a file for them. You understand? So then they were saying, they said, police, bring them to police. We'll help you. You understand? And I was so glad that yes, this is part of the things we're talking about.
Respect. All right. Thank you so much. We've been talking about personal security awareness. A number of people send messages regarding this topic. As Vivian Alfred says, for me, I don't think people are security conscious enough because I know some people will come back to their homes around 11 p.m. in the night after partying. First, everyone should be their own security guard. Ogechi Paul says, in my opinion, this country is no longer safe anymore. When I walk, I always look behind my shoulder just to be sure there isn't any funny movement. My advice is that we should always try our best to be at the right place at the right time. Olatunji Lekon says, I try to stay alert. Like when moving around, I make sure I go to the bus stop to board a bus. I assess the driver's face to see if he's a responsible person before I enter. I don't accept free rides, particularly in Lagos. I make sure I come back early from work. I also tell people around me where I go every time so that they can be in the know. These are some of my own safety measures I put in place for myself. I follow it strictly. I always pray to God and follow your spirit. You want to add something to that?
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
Yes.
Good one.
Yes, that's a very good response because most people that goes out very early in the morning, 3:30, you see 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you need to be very, very security conscious. Be alert.
Is it even advisable to take up jobs like that if you have options? I know most of them don't have options.
Mr.
They don't
Rotimi,
have, yes.
The
they don't
country
have,
is so bad.
Yeah.
He says that, in fact,
maybe it's not that bad.
you see the problem of job
Unemployment, right?
Unemployment is so much,
Yeah.
so much, so much.
All right. What do you have to say there before we round off?
Okay. Ordinarily, I have a policy myself. I thank God for His grace. Anyway, for the people, for the places I've worked, I've always enjoyed this favor. I've always been myself.
Okay.
And I thank God for the kind of opportunities that I
You mean you
kept
didn't
on.
have to wake up early?
Exactly.
Okay.
Understand? So, when you get a job, if the place of work is far from your home, you need to start considering,
How to move
relocating,
close. Yeah.
move closer
Closer.
to your place of work. It's one of the things I advise.
Okay.
Then, just like the other person, the messages that came up, said something about you don't move around at night.
At
People are
night,
not,
yes.
you see, in the night, because darkness comes, there is no amount of street light that will make everywhere look
Exactly.
like
the
day-
daylight, yes.
like daylight. So it's safer for you not to move, in the night.
In the night.
One, because you don't have escorts.
Exactly.
Since you don't have escorts, we don't have police escorts, you're not armed. So you should reduce your night movement.
All right, thank you so much. I've been speaking with a security consultant and ex-military officer. He's also a member of International Security Organization Switzerland. That's Olale Sunday. And also Gabriel Nwakwasi, a certified protection officer, health safety, security, and environment professional and consultant. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome.
All right, you've heard it all. There's a need for us to be security conscious. Do whatever you can to know your environment and do the needful. Thank you so much. This is where we get to wrap it up this week. Be sure to join us next time, same station, on Your Viewpoint. I am Rotimi Akintoday. Please stay safe. God bless. Bye for now.